Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating framework, one that describes reality itself as this enormous cosmic optical system. It's a place where light, life, and destiny are all connected by a single set of physical principles.
So, let's just start with a pretty provocative idea. What if the very fabric of our universe, everything we see and touch, isn't actually made of matter? What if it's all just pure structured light that's been focused and condensed into form?
And then, what if Revelation, specifically the Qur'an in this framework, isn't just a collection of stories or laws, but is actually the technical manual for this whole system, the physics guide for how it all works? That's the core idea we're going to unpack today. A universe where guidance, matter, and consciousness are all playing by the same set of optical rules.
All right, so if the universe is made of light, let's trace that journey. Where does it all begin? Let's go right back to the source.
According to this framework, everything, and I mean everything, kicks off with a single powerful command, kun, which means be. Now, this isn't just a word. Think of it as an emission of pure potential, almost exactly like a photon being released from its source. It's the big bang of this whole system. Now, here's the crucial part. This divine light isn't just for, seeing in the dark. It's coherent, it's packed with information, and it literally carries the blueprint for existence. In this model, nothing just happens by chance. Everything is guided into being by the instructions that are already embedded inside this light. Okay, so we've got this raw, potential-filled light shooting through the cosmos. But something has to shape it, right? If it's like a photon, then what's acting as the lens? Well, the source material describes reality as a dual caustic system. Now, a caustic is just a fancy word from optics. It's that bright, focused line of light you see shimmering at the bottom of a swimming pool. It's where light rays get bent and concentrated. So in this cosmic version, reality itself is a massive lens made of two fundamental forces that bend and shape all of that divine light. And this is where it gets really beautiful. Those two forces are Rahman and Rahim. Think of Rahman as the force that refracts light outward. It spreads potential across the universe, creating all the incredible diversity and multiplicity we see. And then you have Rahim, which does the exact opposite. It reflects that light inward, gathering all those scattered rays to give creation stability, to give it an enduring form. So you have this perfect cosmic dance. One pushes out, the other pulls in.
So it's at the exact point where these two paths of light, that outward push and that inward pull, finally come together. That's where something truly amazing happens.
You see, the journey from pure light to actual life follows a really precise sequence. First, there's alignment, a preparation stage, in a sort of sealed, quiet space where the signal can be perfected. Then, that aligned light travels through what the source calls the smoke. Think of it as a primordial medium that bends the light, creating interference patterns that will later become everything, galaxies, DNA, you name it. And finally, you get condensation. Right at that bright caustic line, the focused light solidifies into actual, accountable form.
And this is where that newly formed being is given responsibility. The term Khalifa, or vicegerent, isn't just some fancy title here. No, in this system, it marks a specific physical role. It's the exact point in this cosmic machine where light officially becomes a conscious, accountable being.
And what's really important is that in this optical system, nothing is ever really gone. The path of that light ray always closes, it always completes the circuit. So birth, death, and resurrection, they aren't separate things, they're just different phases along the very same continuous path of light.
So, now that we have this accountable form made from pure light, how does it actually interact with the divine light that it keeps on receiving? This is where the nafs, or the soul, comes into play. The soul is basically the internal processing unit. And the analogy here is perfect. Think of it just like a chloroplast inside a plant cell, designed specifically to receive and convert incoming light into energy.
But that brings up a huge question, right? If that field of divine light is the same for every single soul, why are there such wildly different outcomes and destinies? Well, the answer isn't in the light itself. It's in how that light gets processed.
And I love how this is framed. The soul has a fundamental choice, and it's presented with this powerful analogy. It can either be like a tree, absorbing light directly and using it to grow, to create structure, to produce life-giving fruit, that's photosynthesis. Or it can be like an animal, just consuming things that already exist, releasing that energy as heat, and basically becoming fuel itself instead of building something that lasts. This choice, to become life-giving structure or to become combustible fuel, is the absolute central dynamic of the soul's existence. It's what defines one of two totally different destinies.
So if you choose the path of the tree, it means you're consciously aligning yourself with that divine light. You're regulating that energy, using it to create structured, internal growth, and ultimately you produce something of lasting value, that enduring fruit that actually contributes back to the whole system.
But the other path, the path of fuel, means scattering from the light. It's a path of consumption, just taking what's already there and burning it for a quick release of energy. There's no structured growth, and in the end, it just burns away. Nothing is left behind.
Now, this whole sorting process is mapped onto what the source calls a 2-3-7 lattice. It sounds technical, but just think of it as the detailed blueprint for reality. The 2 is for those 2 guiding curvatures we talked about, expansion and return. The 3 is for the 3 big phases, shared potential, the sorting based on response, and the final sealed outcome. And the 7 is for 7 different layers of reality. So this whole lattice is like an interference map, showing exactly where light will build up and create fruit, and where it will cancel itself out and just become fuel.
So how do we know this system is actually working? Well, just like a plant's photosynthesis outputs oxygen, the successful photosynthesis of the soul outputs a very specific return signal, hummed, or praise. And this isn't described as just an emotion, it's a signal closure. It's like a ping back to the source, confirming, hey, circuit complete, light converted successfully.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's this incredibly elegant synthesis of physics and spirituality. In this model, the universe is a finely tuned optical instrument. Revelation is the coherent light that makes it all work. The soul is the biological component, the chloroplast, that processes that light. And the Qur'an? That's the navigation chart for the whole system.
And that means this famous opening verse of the Qur'an takes on a whole new layer of meaning. It's not just a statement of faith. In this framework, it is the ultimate confirmation signal. It's the sound of a perfectly functioning cosmic system, the collective praise from every circuit that is completed correctly.
And all of that leaves us with one last, very provocative question, straight from the source material. It references a specific verse, but really, it's meant as an invitation for you to consider your own place and your own active role within this amazing, intricate, light-driven universe.